So I know last week I did top 10 facades, and it looks like you guys are liking that video. So now I'm gonna update my top 10 mazes for 2018. So without further ado, let's get this video started.
Good evening. Number 10.
Starting off the list with number 10 is going to be Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare. Now, I liked Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare because that was the first music maze I ever went through, and just the effects and all the makeup and costumes and the just the little rooms you go in were well put together. The music just went perfect with each scenery, and it gave it a very spooky and scary look. On top of that, you just can't go wrong with Alice Cooper because Alice Cooper is one of the most badass singer and songwriters of all time. So bringing his music to life only made sense for Halloween Horror Nights to have as a maze.
Number 9.
Number 9 is going to go to Walking Dead End of the Line. Now, End of the Line, I know in the Maze Facade video I said no safe haven, but End of the Line is the one that had the giant take in the front. On top of that, it's the prison, and it's the post-outbreak of the prison after the governor destroys the prison, so you got to see the little journey they go on their way after everything, and you got to see the governor's room and everything, and you got to see a lot of stuff incorporated from Season 4, so I really enjoyed that maze and stuff like that. So, I would say that was probably one of the best Walking Dead mazes they ever put together, and I really just enjoyed, like I said, going through the governor's room and seeing all the heads in the water, and then you see his daughter and pop out and stuff like that. That was really cool to me.
Number 8.
Number 8 is going to go to Alien vs. Predator. Now, with Alien vs. Predator, it was just such a really cool maze, only because, like, you got to walk through the aliens' ship, or it was a crashed Predator ship, and the aliens got loose, all the facehuggers and stuff, so we got to see the ultimate battle between the aliens and the Predators. On top of that, you can't go wrong with that ending part of the maze where it was the giant, where it was the giant 60-foot, alien queen and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. So, just the face huggers and everything. They just did a really good job with designing that maze, and I really enjoyed it.
Number 7.
Number 7 is going to go to American Werewolf in London. Now, with American Werewolf in London, they really brought that maze, or that movie to life, only because, like, you walk in, and you're in the slaughtered lamb, and then you walk through the forest, and then as you progress through the maze, you start seeing the infamous nightmare scenes, and you see a lot of the scenes where he transforms into the werewolf. I really like the ending of that maze, too, because in that ending of that maze, you go walk through the town and through the subway, and as well as the movie theater, and I really thought that was a cool aspect to put into this maze. I really enjoyed it from start to finish, and it was really well put together, especially with the werewolf. It looked just like how it did in the movie, and I really dug that they kept the original aspect of the werewolf to the movie quality as it did pretty much in the movie.
Number 6.
Number 6 is going to go to 2017's The Horrors of Blumhouse. And I really like The Horrors of Blumhouse because, well, it was 3 movies put together, and it was the infamous Blumhouse movies. We first started off with The Purge, outside kind of facade, setting it up like The Purge is going on in this night and stuff. Then you walk up to the main facade, which is a movie theater, and it says The Horrors of Blumhouse, which is showing a Blumhouse marathon of both Happy Death Day and both Sinister movies. So I really enjoyed that. You got to walk through Happy Death Day and see a lot of the infamous scenes from that movie, and then you transported yourself into the Sinister movies, which was really cool because you got to walk through a lot of the the famous scenes from Sinister 1, and then you got to see a lot of the famous stuff from Sinister 2, and then the maze ends with of course the guy from The Purge shooting the gun at you, and then I think they're playing the song Let's All Go to the Lobby and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed this maze overall.
Number 5.
Number 5 is going to go to The Exorcist. Now, don't get me wrong, The Exorcist was a fantastic maze. I did really enjoy it and everything. The facade was amazing for that maze, but I see where John Murdy thought that this was really a hard maze to do, because the movie honestly takes place in one room. So going through the maze, you got to just go through each of the scenes of the rooms and stuff like that. Most of the maze just took place in the room, which I completely understand, because this movie doesn't really go anywhere other than that room. But nonetheless, I think Reagan looked really cool, and it was cool to see a lot of the famous things in the movie, like Pazuzu and the priests and everything. And then you got to see a lot of the infamous scenes of her turning her head, her floating up from the bed, and the spider walk. A lot of the most infamous scenes from the movie were incorporated into that maze, and that's what really helped me enjoy this maze. It really brought this maze to life, or this movie to life for me.
Number 4.
Number 4 is going to go to Saw, the Games of Jigsaw. Now, I really enjoyed this maze because it was around the time the new Jigsaw movie came out, so it was kind of perfect atmosphere for this maze to be there. On top of that, I really enjoyed going through the kind of twisted mind of Jigsaw, and you got to see a lot of his famous traps come to life. You got to see a lot of the people in those traps, and you got to see in the beginning his little hideout, of where he kind of his base of operations, of where he kind of watches everybody and stuff like that. It was really cool to also see they incorporated a lot of the new traps from Jigsaw, so you got to see a mixture of both the old movies and the new current movie that just came out last year. So I really enjoyed this maze because, one, I never been through a Saw maze when they were there, and two, I just like I said, watching Jigsaw and then going through this maze really helped bring the universe to life for me.
Number 3.
Number 3 is going to go to Halloween, Michael Myers Comes Home. Now, as I mentioned into the facade for this was fantastic. And then actually going into the maze was really cool. It helped bring the original Halloween for me to life. And I really enjoyed that because Halloween is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. And to bring it to life for me to experience as I'm walking through, like I'm part of the movie, was really cool. They brought a lot of the infamous scenes to life. Of course, when you walk into the maze in the very beginning, you get to see Michael Myers dressed up as a clown up top in the stairs. Then you walk around the house and you get to see a lot of his infamous kills from the movie. One of the most memorable parts I loved in that maze was when you walk through the backyard scene and you see all the white drapes are hanging from the wires and stuff, and then Michael Myers pops out of nowhere. Especially that ending scene where John Murdy kind of made up on his own. It was like a House of Mirrors kind of thing, and there was a bunch of fake Michael Myers, and a couple of them were real. And when they pop out of you, and it just makes the whole experience a lot more fun. But I really enjoy this maze overall.
Number 2.
Number 2 is going to go to Black Sabbath 13 3D. Now, I am a huge metal fan, and for them to bring Black Sabbath to life was just an awesome maze. I loved walking through it and hearing all the famous Black Sabbath songs come to life. Just on top of that, it was in 3D, and it was in the same location as AVP, so I just felt the atmosphere was amazing when going through this maze. I just really, like I said, enjoyed it because I love hearing Black Sabbath, and to bring their music to life, especially going through War Pigs and Iron Man and Electric Funeral and all them. It was really cool to see come to life, and I just really enjoyed it. Now I'm hoping they bring a music maze back in the near future, like another heavy metal band or something, because I feel heavy metal really works out with Halloween events like this. But nonetheless, Black Sabbath was just such a phenomenal maze to me, and I just thought it was probably one of the best music mazes they've ever done. Out of the years I went, they've only done 3, 2 Alice Coopers and the Black Sabbath, and they haven't done any since, but I'm hoping they bring that back pretty soon.
Number 1.
And number 1, a lot of people are probably going to be mad about this, but I really enjoyed this maze because I went on a binge when it came around in Halloween, is The Shining. Because, you know what, I honestly, I love that movie so much, and for them to bring it to life, I mean, they tried their best. It was, a lot of people would argue that it was not a really good maze. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was one of those mazes that didn't have a ton of black walls in it, and they tried their best to fill it up as much as possible. I really enjoyed it too. Some of the projections were, a little bit cheesy, but I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Like I said, though, they tried their best, and it was honestly probably my favorite maze of all time because, like I said, going through to this event, I watched that movie religiously, and it was just such it was so cool just to bring it to life and see a lot of the infamous scenes come to life, like the Here's Johnny scene, the all work and no play make Jack a dull boy scene, and the very end scene where you go through the hedgehog maze and you see him like dead, and he's trying to kill and find Danny and stuff. So I just really enjoyed this maze overall. And that is going to do it for my top 10 mazes as of 2018. I'm going to try to update this video every year that Halloween Horror Nights goes on, and every year that I go. So I hope you guys enjoy this updated version of my top 10 mazes. Make sure to tune in every week on the channel, as we do put up a new original video every Monday and the Mindless 4 podcast every Tuesday. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video.